Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our Timberborn Update 5 Iron Teeth Mega Build Challenge. Here, Cycle 3, Day 1. Last time, we got off to a pretty good start. Almost got all 4 quadrants of this, I guess we'll call it the upstairs, set ready to go with some irrigation. Got a little bit more to accomplish on that front with some stairs here, a little bit more clearing, and this guy getting populated as well. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll turn lumber mill back on, just the one for right now, and we'll let them start making some more planks so they can build the rest of this stuff. And we are going to set off on our goal for today's episode, which is to prepare ourselves for bad tides. Now, there's not going to be that much we can get away with probably in this cycle, since we do still have some pretty limited resources, but I did want to take a second and examine here. We'll go ahead and pause. The outflow of each of these 4 sides right here dumps us out 4 wide into this little area right here. And I had the idea, and a couple of you guessed in the comments as well, that maybe we should isolate the outflow here to just dump straight over the side with some automatic floodgates that would make it possible for us to avoid bad water altogether when that ends up happening. So I think that's the route we're going to want to go with, at least as much as we can. We don't have any of these floodgates researched, but we do have the science to go ahead and unlock the doubles. And we also have the science to go ahead and unlock the stream gauge. Or maybe we're a little bit... Okay, we're actually a little bit short of that, but we will get there because we have the inventors over here. So my idea was to take our levees here, and we're going to want to divert all of the outflow, are going to make it possible, rather, for all the outflow to be diverted through these 2 little, I guess we'll call them gaps here. So if we were to do something like this, and just have enough of an opening, I guess we could go 3 on a side probably would be fine. So if we were to set it up like this, then we could go ahead and unlock our double floodgates right here, and then just stick those in like that. And the idea is that when it's, clear season, or whatever you want to call it, this would be open and all of our water here could be just diverted around the whole thing, provide some nice irrigation. But when the bad tide comes, these close and the bad water is just shunted off the side here and harmlessly, well, not for these trees, but harmlessly falls out this way and joins the rest of the bad water down here in the bottom of the map. So I think that's what we're going to want to go with. I chose this one to be the first just because, well, it's the most developed part of the map so far, at least going out this way. And we'll see what we're able to get done here. We don't have access to platforms yet, so that's going to be something we have to unlock as well. In fact, we might want to get that going before we mess with the stream gauges, because we can't always just manually close these. We need the regular platforms anyway, so I'll put one here, put some stairs just down like that so they can get in here to take care of that. That's going to be our first major project for today. We have, well, we don't have a ton of logs, but we should have enough to make all of this happen if we continue cutting down what we're supposed to be cutting down. So we'll let that be a thing that happens. We've got Jon Snow here. Isn't really able to be cutting anything right now. So I'm going to pause this lumberjack flag, and we're going to put him to work here in the lumber mill. Get that going, and you can see our guys here are already hard at work. Who do we have? Got alvsindre, Rick, and Teal McClanahan headed on down here. Well, I guess they're going to start building these first because that was the first one I placed. But they're going to get to work on that, and we'll see how this ends up working. Now, the other thing we're going to run into is that until we do this on all 4 sides, yeah, the rest of this is going to get contaminated. But not the end of the world, because it should still be a reasonably long temperate cycle. If we can manage to get a little bit more stuff taken care of, then I think we'll be in decent shape. We do still have plenty of trees left to cut down. And I will turn these guys back on at some point in the future. But for right now we got plenty to accomplish here. Plenty of good stuff. We also wanted to put in some more farmhouses because, as we've gathered, the Iron Teeth farmhouses don't really let you do too much because, well, there's only 2 slots. So that's something we want to go ahead and get going on. I will put one of these guys, I guess, right about here. Probably fine. And we also wanted to get into planting some additional crops that we could use with the fermenter. So now we have this power coming across this way. So we'll see what happens there. We also have these irrigation barriers. At some point when we actually get to the treated planks, we are going to want to put these on pretty much the entire length of these canals on either side, which does mean we're going to have to rely more on the fluid dumps, but not the end of the world. That will be okay. Speaking of the fluid dumps, I had wanted to prioritize these slightly, and someone in the comments said I missed one of them. And it was this one right here, so we'll go ahead and get that stuck up to the slightly higher priority. That's good to see there. And there we go. We have we have one levee right here ready to go. So that's working out okay, I suppose. But we'll go ahead and get these guys on a triple speed so we can power through the rest of the day here and briefly discuss what else we're going to be doing in today's episode. I know I talked about the diversion technique, which is important, but is not going to be the only thing that we're going to get into today. Obviously, I did just mention about the farmhouses and the additional crops, but again, that is something else that is going to come at a later date and time. We've got plenty of food, technically speaking, for right now. And we are making more beavers, so we are going to want to get into building housing soon as well. And that is, I believe, something that is going to be best done on the outside of these to also help guard against our bad water contamination should it exist. So I had the idea of just kind of bordering this entire middle thing with these big walls of apartments, or our barracks, large barracks, etc. That's going to have to come in due time when we take care of everything else here. Yeah, just a couple trees left to get rid of here, and they are marked for removal, so don't worry about that. That was not an issue. Oh, I also did all of the spacing wrong for this, so that's good to know now, I guess. Yeah, day 3. Starting to run a little bit low on the wood, so we are going to want to start cutting down some more here. Yeah, I think we're going to want to... No, that was the wrong... No, it wasn't. There we go. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to get rid of a lot more of these trees. Even if they haven't really started cutting all of the rest of this yet, we're going to want them to. But what we really need to make sure is that we at least keep a few trees in the middle alive, especially the pines, because we're going to need that resin sooner rather than later. Fortunately, the Iron Teeth don't have to worry about the maples or the chestnuts or anything. But as soon as we get our first bad tide, most of the trees on the map are going to die, which is admittedly just kind of a minor inconvenience since we're kind of just completely stuffed full of them at the moment. But we do want to make sure we keep at least some of them alive so we don't have to worry about a forester quite yet. Medium tank is still waiting on gears, so maybe we should go ahead, turn one of these on. There we go. It's not the only important thing to be building levees and all that fun stuff here. But we do want to make sure that everything else is happening correctly. We also want to have our water pumps going, so we need to make that something that's possible to be built. And we need to hope these beavers start growing up pretty soon, because we're going to be running out of jobs. Even though we do have these inventors here that are marked at, I guess you could say, minimum priority. It will pull beavers away from there, but we also need the science. So let's not get too comfortable here. A couple comments were calling for hauling posts. Yes, it would be nice to have those, but I mean, this is our entire colony right now. It's not really the highest of priorities just quite yet. But we will get there when we get there. Other things to concern ourselves with. We have these trees down here we're going to want to cut down and probably turn a lot of this into industrial stuff eventually. I feel like the housing and the farming should probably be most of what happens up here. And then this second tier would be a great place for industry, tree farming, etc. Especially once we have all of our floodgates automated set up and everything. But again, that is something that's going to have to come in due time. Yeah, so we just have to decide how we want our paths to look. I kind of want to have our space maximized on this green for growing things. So we might even consider building our housing up over the water here, because what was it, the large barracks are 3x3, so we could actually just build this on a huge network of what are those things called, platforms? Yeah, there you go. That's how fried my brain is currently. But if we did that on the outside of this, then we could use all of our available green space for growing and processing food, and I think that would be smart. And then all the wood-related stuff and the metal-related stuff could all be down here on the second tier. And then this space out here, well, I don't really know what we do with it quite yet. Might end up being outlying districts. Look how fast the water's coming out of this. Yeah, we could generate a ton of power with this. Also, these blockages probably should be removed at some point, but for right now, we'll leave those alone. There's a lot of power in this discharge right here. We'll see how that ends up going. But our water storage is going to be looking a whole lot nicer now because we have 2 pumps going and we've got a medium tank to store it in. But now our problem is we don't have enough wood. So this guy right here is just about out of stuff to cut down. In fact, he is out of stuff to cut down. So let's pause that lumberjack flag, send him to go work somewhere else. Yeah, I still don't want to cut all these trees down, but I think we're about at the point now where we should be cutting down as many of these as we can without really worrying about it too much. So this is going to get a new lumberjack flag right here. Remember, we have these, I think I just showed you anyway. We have these kind of striped, so we can cut down a bunch of trees and the rest of them will just spread naturally. We won't have to worry about a forester quite yet. Because, again, this is not where we're going to be planting most of our trees anyway. I'm surprised they haven't gotten rid of these trees yet, but I guess that's just not close enough. Well, that'll be fine. They got plenty of stuff to find themselves involved with. Planks-wise, need 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 more, and guess, well, we have 55. Okay. So when we get to the stairs... Yeah, so we need this number to be about 70 before we shut these off, at least for right now. Got plenty of other stuff going on. We also want to make sure that if this is a bad tide, we don't let them go down the stairs. Because we are very, very far away from having any sort of treatment for our bad water sickness at this exact moment in time. And go forth they are. I'm going to go ahead and put in another lumberjack flag. I guess probably if this is going to reach... Oh, this almost reaches all of them. Well, I'll go ahead and put this here. We might as well, so we can get the rest of these knocked out. Or kind of. They'll get taken with that. Yeah, we got logs coming in. It's just not the most expedient thing in the history of mankind. I'm going to go ahead and do us a favor, though, and prioritize our stairs construction so we can have our beavers down here building from the bottom up instead of this way out, because we probably only have about 5 or 6 days before we either have a drought or a bad tide. Would like to try and avoid complete catastrophe, at least at this exact moment in time. And this farmhouse here, unfortunately has been kind of relegated. We might want to build that too, so I'm going to make that a slightly higher priority, but they will be building the stairs and everything too. So that's working out just fine. And we should see them start to build this. Yes, that will help us harvest our kohlrabies. We are going to want to go ahead and start planting cassavas as well. And this is our gatherer flag right here. I think I'm going to go ahead and start removing these plants up here so we can start planting the other things. Or you know, actually would probably be smarter be to unplant half of these kohlrabis because we don't really need to be taking away the berries quite yet. Yeah, we'll get these guys going. Get them harvested, stored up nicely, and then we will start planting the rest of these because we don't know. I might want to plant from the inside out because we don't know if we're going to get our badtide quite yet. I think it's well, we're not playing hard mode, so it's not guaranteed we're going to get some early, but I want to be prepared just in case. And our well-being lack thereof, because our lack of shelter is probably not working out too well for us right now. But again, not the end of the world. We just need to make sure we're managing ourselves somewhat reasonably here. All right, it looks like we can get this connected, start irrigating from the middle out. That'll be nice once that's all taken care of. But yeah, we do want to get some, the logs, I want to use them to build our little diversion thing here. Would be nice. Well, we'll see what happens. I do wonder if they're going to be able to actually finish this if I don't have enough logs. So what else am I able to cut down here? I guess I probably should have... Yeah, I probably should have another lumberjack flag here. And I might as well. I know I've been trying to say, hey, let's save the pine trees, but this is a ton of pine trees. I believe we can afford to send... Nope, not that many. We can afford to send some of these guys out of here. And still leave a pretty good amount. Because remember, eventually, like I said, we're going to have everything kind of separated out in tiers, and most of the tree growing will be done down below. This is still a ton of pine trees. And that honestly should take care of most of that for the time being, once this is in place. How far away are we here? They're not even building this one yet, are they? Oh yeah, they're building that way because I told them to. I was about to ask, why are they building that first? But I clicked it first. Don't worry. I am sometimes able to remember what I've done here. They'll get that taken care of. They'll build this, then they should build this, and then our floodgates in the middle. Oh, this one's actually getting pretty close. All right. Planks-wise, though, oh, we're doing great on planks. We're doing fantastic on planks. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pause our lumber mills, turn on the gear stuff, because we need to have gears. We can have some more water storage. We definitely need to have some more water storage. It's just unfortunate that I also have to use planks to build those too. But we're looking pretty good right now. Looking pretty good. Just need to get our harvesting of logs done sooner rather than later. Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead, just for the sake of having this stuff ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and start planting these cassavas here. Just because, well, we've got a decent number of kohlrabis here. But we really want to make sure that we're not completely throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, it's just a drought. Just a drought. We're not looking too bad here. Now, that being said, a drought is still going to mean that we can't use any power from our compact water wheels yet. And this also won't be grown until partway through the drought, but we can store our cassavas in such a way that we can process them later. Berries, kohlrabis here. Since we're probably going to be putting these things here, I do think I will put a storage right here for our raw cassavas, just so we can keep harvesting those. And then we'll have another one for the processed, I guess you could say fermented ones, which I might as well go ahead and do. Let's just take these out. That'll be fine. Yeah, so this being a drought actually makes this kind of a pointless thing for us to focus on constructing right now, so I'm going to deprioritize those. And we can save our wood for other things, like our warehouses right here. And I'm going to go ahead and start building some barracks, even though we're not going to keep these. We're not going to keep these, but I will go ahead and get these guys ready to go here. Just put in 4 of these. We can house 40 beavers. We'll tear them down when we actually build our proper stuff later. So don't worry about that. We will take care of everything eventually, but we do want to make sure that we are still progressing in ways that we probably should be. In cycle 3, the drought shouldn't be very long anyway, and we're playing on normal, so the max can be is 9 days. So we'll be a-okay. We'll get through that, and we'll see what happens next. But when we finally get through the rest of however long the drought is, we should be able to have at least 1 fermenter going here. And then we probably are going to need to start planting some other stuff like our canola as well when we get to that point. But for right now, the cassava should be enough. And since we have this guy irrigating here, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Plus, we also have our dams here. So this entire quadrant should be a-okay, good to go. And the outer reaches of the rest of these will probably start having some issues. But we are going to fix the rest of this at some point. Should be no further issues eventually when we get far enough down the line. Now, since we don't have any problems with our bad water this time around, what I think I want to do is try to get... Do I research the ladders? Because I want to get down here so I can harvest all of these trees. I think that would be smart. Because they're going to die as soon as the bad water gets here anyway. So maybe that's what we do. Hey, look, our well-being's 4 because now they can actually sleep inside. That's a huge improvement. Yeah, we want to get... And now it's up to 5. We want to get as much of this done as we possibly can. And I will pause all of this stuff. Water-wise, we probably... I mean, it's only a 3-day drought, so it's not like it really matters. But we probably should get some more of these water pumps in place. Or put them on the outside. Moving them out here is probably going to be the right thing to do. We will go ahead, just for the sake of right now. Let's see if we can find a good way to get down here. Because the water is going to be coming through here. I think what we're going to want to do long term is just have a nice looking bridge, kind of a tower thing to get down here, but that is going to take some it's going to take some engineering that we probably don't want to mess with right now. So what I'm going to do instead, since we're already on this side with the stairs, I'm going to put this in here, and then we'll just do the quote-unquote boring thing and just have ladders go all the way up here. Then we'll come up to right here, I guess, and put in some stairs. And since this is dry right now, I will put a lumberjack flag down here so we can actually cut the rest of this down. But yeah, we're gonna clear cut all of this stuff because this can easily be replanted later with probably minimal issues. So we'll just go ahead and get this set up the same way here. And I know this is ugly. We're gonna fix it later. Don't worry. But we definitely want to take advantage of having all of this wood right here as much as we can. Large industrial piles will get flooded, so I am going to try and build those up here once we have access to all of this space. But it is going to take some time, and, you know, the drought's almost over. But we should have at least another 15 days before there's a possibility of bad water getting here. So we'll take a look and see. Should not be too big of a problem. Good news, though, is that this is complete, and I will go ahead and have this set to 0. We are going to automate these with the, what are these things called? Stream gauges. when we get there, but right now that is not the biggest priority. We will get there, though. Now we have 6 unemployed beavers because we've been shutting this stuff down. Let's get these built a little bit more. Harvesting kohlrabis and cassavas we should have. Yeah, we should have some here when they eventually get there. Yep, still looking pretty good. Water is still looking pretty okay. This is draining as we thought it would. Getting there with our ladders here. Almost. Almost there. Alright, cycle 4, day 1. One more ladder left to go, and then they can come down here and take care of everything else they want to get done. Get this wood harvested, and be in a pretty good position going into what could be our first bad tide cycle. We'll see what happens. Just have to wait. Alright, so now we should see these guys start to come in here. There we go. Yeah, put this thing together. Get to work. Well, as soon as the stairs are built. That might be kind of important. Yeah, get this started here. Even the... Oh, it's going to be underwater. Oh, yeah, this is... Alright, we're going to have to... we're going to have to do a little bit of loss of trees here. But they can destroy these things. They just can't use an underwater lumberjack flag. That's not something that's going to work. So we will have to move those up here. And I was planning on doing that anyway this time. So, all right, that's going to work nicely. Put one more here. Get this stuff all taken care of. Yeah, that's plenty of space. Plenty of space to harvest. There we go. There we go. Get this cleared out. I will put in a couple of large industrial piles just as soon as the space becomes available. Might want to just put this right here. So we'll keep an eye on how this is all set up. Give them a little bit of an opportunity to take care of that. But now that this is a thing, I want to come in on the side here and do this exact same deal. See how much of this we can accomplish here. Yeah, get our levees 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 here. You know the drill. Because if we can keep this quadrant completely pure water, we're going to be in pretty good shape, and we'll just, of course, continue going around and around and around and around. Put that there, put that there. Now I've got the extra beavers and the power. Let's undo these two. And like I promised, build ourselves a fermenter here. Set that to fermented cassavas. Probably should go ahead and have that be a priority build so we can have a different type of food, because we do have 50 cassavas here and we have storage for the remainder of the raw stuff. Which honestly probably... Well, no, I said I was going to build another one of these, and that's what we'll do. This will be for our... well, actually, this can be for our regular cassavas. This can be for our fermented cassavas. We'll just do that way. Okie dokie. That can go away. Already starting to look pretty decent here. Making our way downtown, so to speak. Already getting something accomplished here. We have a decent number of logs. We don't have a lot of storage for gears, and by don't have a lot, I mean we don't have any. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put here and here storage for gears, and then on the outside we don't really have anything else to put in here, so I might as well just go ahead and have another food storage. Probably berries over here would not be a bad choice. Just so we can have some extra space for those, because this is starting to get pretty full. But fermented cassavas we are making. That's seeming like it's going pretty well. In the process of getting these levees done, and it's actually going pretty well. Let's not go to the other side, please. I really hope we don't get any silly billies stuck here. That would be a huge, huge travesty. We don't want that. Alright, so... I know I said I wanted to put this here, but there are trees in the way, so maybe we'll Maybe we'll just do this. Yeah, set both of these to log supply. I know we don't have any haulers yet, but we will. We will. We're going to build that real quick. There we go. Give me a hauling post. Where can I stick that? I guess it doesn't really matter, but I will put one right here. Set that guy to, I guess 5 is fine, because it'll draw them away from these inventors here. Well-being of 7. So yeah, we're climbing the ranks. We're looking pretty good. Still have way too much power to actually use, but we are making decent progress anyway. Yeah, these will take some logs to build, and I think they're going to probably do this first, which, you know, is good. That's what you want. You want to be able to control your water. Should not be an issue. Day 5, well, end of day 5. I think we're looking pretty good. Water is continuing to improve. We are going to build another medium tank, which we, yeah, probably should just go ahead and put right here in the center of this thing. And that's going to give us space to put something else right here. Should we put... I don't have any of this stuff unlocked. I don't really want to spin the science, even though I have plenty of it. Tooth grindstone probably is not a bad thing to put up here, at least for right now. We will let that be what it needs to be. Stuff is looking pretty good otherwise. There's still some kohlrabis here that we can't harvest yet. So probably what we should do is we should unplant all of these as well, and well, actually probably most of these, and start planting some other fun stuff. For the time being, this one fermenter seems to be doing just enough. Shouldn't have any issues there. I'm going to go ahead for the benefit of everything and prioritize our hauling post, because we do have those extra unemployed beavers that will definitely help them be useful. So they will get to work as soon as day 7 dawns here. Should see that working nicely. Look at this. We're already making good progress here. I don't think we're going to be able to get all of the rest of this done quite yet, but we do have a ton of these planks already, so I'm going to go ahead, unpause the gear workshop, one of them, set this as a slightly higher priority. Just waiting on logs for the rest of the hauling post. That's just about done, because we want to be able to have the gears actually accumulate. There we go. And we've got some haulers. Just need to get these industrial piles built. I think they will do that after the... Oh, warehouse is done. Okay. That works. Yeah, now come down here and build this stuff, because we need to make sure we have these guys able to just cut things down. So maybe we'll go ahead and do those two as well. That should be fine. We're making good progress here. That's nice to see. Just don't go outside. I'm begging you, don't go outside here, because you're going to get stuck and you're going to be sad. You're going to be crying about it, and I'm not going to be able to help you. All right. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this. Try something different here. We'll do the bottom layers first, and then the floodgates, and then the top layers. Let's try that on for size. And then, since we're already over here, might as well go ahead and have this set up. Now, you might have noticed I've done these in a... I don't know what the actual geometric term is in terms of symmetry, but they're all completely identical with the stairs on the same side. Is there any reason for that? Nope. Just the way I wanted to do it, but it is going to make it a little bit easier for us to remember how things are set up. So, I don't think they're going to be able to get all of these done as we look toward the fate of the end of Cycle 4. But they are in place. They're ready to go when they do get finished. Now, okay, here we are. All right, so these are going to be set up like this. That's good. Yeah, as long as these are set to supply, prioritized by haulers, then we don't have to worry about these guys. They can just do whatever they need to do. Now, I would think I think they would build this tank, but I guess there's enough stuff in front of it where they aren't going to be worrying about that quite yet. So let's set our sights on the future here. I'm going to start growing canola here, because we're definitely going to want to have that. And it does take a long time to grow. Soybeans are very temperamental, so when we start growing those, I think they're going to have to be further in this way. In fact, I'm going to take this 5x5 plot right here, and I'm going to make that soybeans, because it's almost impossible for this to get contaminated, and soybeans are little babies that die in like 0.2 seconds if something dumb happens. So we would like to avoid that as much as possible. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I remember how to count correctly? I sure did. Just for some reason, this didn't look like 5x5 to me. But we'll get that rocking and rolling anyway. It's going to take them a little bit of time to harvest all of this, I'm sure. But if the crops take longer to grow, then it won't be as much of an issue. Look at the timing down. All right, so that's looking better down here, harvesting nicely. Our problem is going to be if we have a bad tide, then these guys are going to get sick. So we're going to have them all come back up and shut this whole thing down. Which is why I'm trying to get as much of this done as I can before we get to that point. It's not going to be ideal. Not going to be ideal. But I'm going to feel really good about this if we can at least have this set up good to go. Okay, Hauler's still doing their thing. No sign of what's going to happen next in Cycle 4, so that's encouraging. Gradually monitoring all of this fun stuff. I'm going to switch them to harvest priority so we can try to clear out a little bit more space. Food-wise, we're still looking okay. Could be a little bit better. We probably do need to have a third farmhouse, but we aren't quite at that point yet. I think we need to have a few more beavers before we worry about having a third farmhouse. For right now, I mean, it's working. We don't have a huge population. We're still able to sustain off of what we have going right now. But it is something we're going to want to get to in the future. Yeah, but if we can get soybeans reliably working here, that's going to be very, very, very nice. Obviously, this isn't going to work during a drought, but it would work in a bad tide. Just want to keep that in mind as we continue on here. How are we looking down here? Okay, okay. Looking nice. Now, we probably... Yeah, we have a lot of science, actually. We probably want to go ahead, get our stream gauge unlocked. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put maybe right here in the middle this guy, and then I think I can tie this to all of the floodgates, at least as they are right now. So as soon as this guy sees contamination, they'll just slam shut, make that exact sound, and then we'll be good to go. But we have to get this actually constructed first. Now, are you injured? Yes, you are injured and not broken teeth. So we don't have, in the iron teeth, we do not have a mechanism for healing outside of the decontamination pod. So let's just go ahead and research medical beds. And there's no reason not to have one of these. So we might as well go ahead. I'll build 3 of these right here on the back side of this. And we'll give them some place to rest. Should not be that big of a problem. I am kind of concerned, though, about how this medium tank has not even been remotely started yet. So let's bump that up. Yeah, and that immediately they just bring all the stuff over. So I guess they were a little focused on building the rest of this, which, you know, is fine. We do want that to be built, but we don't want it to just completely ignore everything else. All right, so that's looking good. More storage for water. We'll go ahead and set these 2 to supply. Set this one to obtain, and this one to obtain as well. Prioritized by haulers. Give these guys something to do. And these as well. We probably are going to want to have more than 5, so let's bring in 6. And as we add more beavers, we are going to increase the worker population here. But we are well on our way to getting some nice stuff accomplished here. Just got to go slow and steady. This is just about done. Just have this last one eating logs. And then this area will be A-OK, perfect, clean, preserved, whatever you want to call it. All right, another drought. Not going to lie, I kind of wanted to have a badtide to see how the defense system worked. But that will probably have to be a next episode thing now, which you guys are in luck. Will be another one of these tomorrow since this is the new series. We'll be revisiting this again very quickly on Monday, and then, well, same episode length, but back-to-back episodes is what I'm talking about. And then we'll be back here on, what did I say this was on? Friday? No, Thursday. I think Thursday's when this one comes back. If I remember how my rotation works. You know, I probably should, considering I came up with it, but you know how this goes. All right, so this is done. Good to go. That means this is no longer the biggest of priorities, but at the same time, what else are we doing here? Not really much of anything. They haven't gotten rid of this blueberry bush yet, so let's help them out with that. The problem is going to be we're not going to have any fermenters working here. We're going to have to get a little bit creative here. So I do not want to put in those running wheels, but we might end up having to do that anyway. And let's go ahead and take these out here. I'm going to put another farmhouse down on this side. Actually, I remembered, because the orientation of the doorway is not going to do me any favors if I remove these two. It has to be this group of four. So we'll go ahead and take these out. Yes, yes. Then we should be able to tend to all of these plants nicely. Okay. A farmhouse here. Very good. There we go. Let's get our path put in. There we go. Very nice. So we got 1.3 days left. Probably should have our cassavas going a little harder, but we haven't been harvesting so many of those because they haven't been growing super fast. Well, that is kind of what they do. They just don't grow that fast, so I guess we can't really be upset about that. How are we looking? Which one of these was supposed to be first anyway? Oh, this one. Okay. That works. We can live with that. Now, what else do we want to get ourselves into? Well, we kind of took care of everything that we set out to immediately on the list. So I guess we just kind of have to wait and see what's going to happen here. Getting these trees removed is going to be nice. I think these guys can reach, yeah, more than half of each of these little islands. That'll be okay. But we are going to want a better long-term solution than this ladder here. I think what is going to end up happening is we end up moving this to the outside of this. So this comes along this side and then down. And we figure out some sort of an irrigation barrier here or a levee or something because of how this is set up. But that will probably be a future episode thing, in all honesty. We'll get it figured out. But the drought is here. And somehow we are out of food. That's, well, outside of the berries. But drought started means these get paused because we can't do anything with them anymore. So now we have all these extra beavers. I'm going to send them to work in the hauling post. And then do I build a builder's hut? I have the science for it. I might as well. No real reason not to. So we'll go ahead and put that in. And we'll get the rest of these beavers to work. We will continue to add additional beavers, of course. One other option that we have, I know I said I really didn't want to mess with these power wheels, but we could put in 2 of these things and at the very least keep some of this operating. I feel like that would be smart. It's only a 4-day drought, so you know it's not the end of the world. But until we have engines and everything unlocked, we're probably going to want these guys, honestly. And the rest of this stuff, we got Gear Workshop, we got the Wood Workshop. Everything else, industry-wise, is mostly just dealing with the processing of food, which is going to be a little bit more important than making planks and gears. So we definitely want to have access to all of that. And 2 of these guys would actually let that be possible, because this, I think these only draw 50, and these produce about 50-ish. So that and that means we could also operate an oil press if we had a place to put one of those. Now, our current configuration's not really ideal for that, but we'll see what happens. I guess they're going to focus on building these things, which is fine. Yep, there we go. Fully staffed builder's hut, fully staffed hauling post. Everything is looking pretty nice. No complaints from me. Yeah, so we're going to end up in a pretty good spot in terms of a stopping point here in just a few minutes. Might end up being a little bit of a short episode, but don't worry. Like I said before, we will be right back at this again in tomorrow's video with the continuation, so we'll see what happens with that. But it is going to be really nice to have all of this stuff taken care of. We can go ahead. We're going to need that fermenter there. Oh, I might have... oh no, I might have made a boo-boo here. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. This might seem kind of dumb, but I'm going to remove this farmhouse. We're going to shift our path this way, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Because I need to put an oil press in. Nope, not that rotation. Rotate it one more. There we go. Put that guy in there, and then we're going to have our farmhouse... Instead of being, you thought I was going to put it right here. False. We're going to put that farmhouse probably right about here. We'll take out a couple more of these things. I know we have this farmhouse here too, but I do want to leave this area open for building either another oil press, which I don't think is going to be necessary at this exact moment, or to continue along this way and then move these warehouses as needs dictate. I think we definitely want to make sure we have access to as much of this as we can. In fact, I'm going to go ahead, just for the benefit of how the rest of this is probably going to pan out with regard to our food stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and get this situated like so here. And we're going to go ahead and put these in. Come on. Like so. Give ourselves a little bit more access here. Yeah, it's going to work. It's going to be worth it. It'll make sense. Just trust the process. But I do need to get this farmhouse constructed. Set all my crazy plans in motion once again. Alright, so that's working there. And we are at cycle 5. Wow, look at this. We're looking pretty good here. They haven't even started this side, so before we're done, I do want to go ahead and get this stream gauge built. And I want to assign to all of these floodgates, just in case we forget. But we will go ahead and end this playthrough today, in the playthrough at this present point in time. We just got to make sure that this gets accomplished here. So let's let them bring these materials in. We'll get these hooked up, and we'll see if we can program correctly. All right, so paused. I'm now going to attach to that stream gauge. And what we're going to do is set... see, here we go again. I know how this works. I might say it wrong, but we're going to set it up correctly. Set height below low contamination to 0. Set height above high contamination to 2. Contamination high threshold, 1. There we go. So as soon as it detects any contamination, they're just going to completely close up. So now, yep, they're connected to both. We'll do the exact same thing here. There we go. And this won't open until it detects no contamination. So that's set up correctly. Which one did I... why did I hook up the middle? Okay, whatever. We'll just do all of these on the outside. That's going to be our goal here. Keep it set up correctly. No, I want 1%. Thank you. There we go. Very nice. Now, what's going to be really funny is when I've somehow still managed to mess this up, and please do tell me, those of you in the comments, if I have actually managed to mess this up. But I believe this is set up correctly. We'll just have to be diligent in examining what we've done here. But I think we're going to be in a pretty good spot. I can pre-attach these before they're built, which is going to be very nice to not have to worry about. So we'll get these last two done, and that's going to be all she wrote. So there we go. They're all set to slam shut as soon as they detect any contamination on this one. And that should be perfectly fine. It'll contain the poison. Just shovel it out this way. We're going to do similar things down here, but they're going to have their own stream gauges, because I believe somebody said these only support up to 10, and we already have 8. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there you go. That's going to be the end of today's episode. I know we have a couple things that are kind of unfinished, half-built. But for right now, I think we're still doing very good. Very well, rather. My 6th grade English teacher would be cringing at my using of "we are doing good." No, we are doing well. You are not done. You are finished. You're not a biscuit. Anyway, love that woman to death. The fun is still plentiful and promising in the episodes ahead, so I would encourage you to come back and watch the rest of those. Should be a whole lot of fun. Like I said, just also want to make sure that I acknowledge Beard Boosters and their contributions, making all of this stuff possible. Really appreciate those folks, and I appreciate you too, even if you're not part of that. I'm very thankful that we get to spend this time together. So whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun. Don't forget, today's the last day for the community survey. There's a link to that one on the community tab on my channel, or I'll put it in the pinned comment down below. So please fill that out if you haven't. We'll have a video chronicling all the responses and thoughts on the future of the channel and everything early next week, whenever I can get around to going through all of those results. But I will read every single response. It's all anonymous. Don't worry, I won't know who you are, so please be honest, whether that's good feedback or constructive criticism, whatever have you. I always do read all those, and I read the comments too. So if you have any comments on this specific playthrough, or any ideas, or just want to say hi, please do reach out down below, and I'll look forward to talking with you there. But that is quite enough of my rambling. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Again, stay safe, have fun, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.